Hey everybody, this is my part one of the Regie Simmons Why I Collect Comics, and part one is family. We are a family that cons together. This is my son Charles, my wife Liz, and my little daughter Victoria. What you're hearing in the background is PJ Maxx, my daughter's favorite superhero show. She's also going to be Owlette for Halloween. You've probably seen her as Rocket Raccoon and as Black Widow. He's been Hulk, and he's been Thanos, and he's been Groot too, Baby Groot. So we are a family that cons together, reads together as well. I read, you all know what I read all the time. I always show you guys what I pick up. My wife reads as well. What are some of your books that you like?
I probably have to say one of the ones that I read, probably one of my favorites. Maybe Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
it's a pretty good one.
It's by Image. It had football in it, which he's a big Dolphins fan. So
yeah, that's what sold me on it.
Yeah.
What else? Angel City.
Oh yeah, Angel City, which is by a local artist in Kansas City. We're in Omaha, but Megan Levins. And you're reading now.
Now we're reading Catwoman, which the covers really got me first off.
Yeah, let's show them. Because she's got her
they're just great.
collection out, she was showing. She's got the Art Germ. Well, this is a Middleton cover. And you got all these beautiful Art Germ covers. This is her first time doing her little collection right here. And that came out yesterday. Still say, what do you think of that cover?
Probably my favorite one of the group so far.
Yeah, there you go. Now, we are reading to our kids. Not these books, obviously. We do have some... the comic of the superheroes for kids. There's one for Powers of Girls with the DC characters and everything else. But part one of Why I Collect Comics is my family. So thank you guys very much, and this will continue. Oh yeah. So I got back from the con that I showed you guys. I picked up that Swamp Thing at, and my wife Liz showed me. Came home, and I noticed I got home real late, and I says, "What's on the couch? Show him what you brought." She went and
surprised him with this. First one's Iron Man.
These are throw pillows. Thor. Who's this, honey?
Who's that?
She's not talking right now.
Flash.
Oh, yep, Flash, yeah.
And...
There's one more?
Of course, Captain America.
Of course, her favorite of the Marvel. So, that's more of Why We Collect. Have a good day. There's more to come, so just stay tuned. There'll be a brief pause, and then I'm going to do part two and part three. Thanks again. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey everybody, this is part two of Regie Simmons Why I Collect. Probably it's all going to be one video, but part two is I like to draw. Now I got into drawing because when I was a kid, my grandmother was an artist. She was great, and she always let me doodle and draw. But then she sat down and said, "Ooh, you have a tick," and she showed me some tricks here and there. So I'm going to show you some brief drawings I've done recently. So Sketchpad has my version of a Al Milgrom Hulk. And then, everybody has their Van Goghs and stuff like that. Mine are your John Buscema's, this being a Jack Kirby's, Bernie Wrightson's, obviously. Here's this is a sketch I did. It's still a little wrinkled because I made a better one from my wife of adolescent Groot. So we saw Baby Groot, we saw Teenage Groot, but this is what we would look like, in my opinion, as an adolescent. Lightning McQueen from my daughter, she likes that. My son's birthday, I had everybody sign a Hulk I did. A Superman, a Boss Baby. My wife likes Beauty and the Beast. Notice I made her well endowed up top. My wife always laughs at that. Then some homages right here. Here's an homage to my favorite cover, but I threw Venom in there for Venom Week. I created this for Venom Week. This is What If Squirrel Girl, hit by the symbiote. And now I'm working on some covers, so might as well just show you one in progress. This is going to be my Hulk's cover. This is another homage of Amazing Spider-Man. I'm going to make this kind of similar to the Silver Surfer 4 cover I love so much. And then I did a tribute to the Punisher, a little Star Wars theme. Boba Fett taking down Luke Skywalker. That's my dog Taz, and he's watching my kids eat. So that's part two of Why, because I like to draw. Part three is real simple. I was a kid, and I rode mass transit as a kid, or I sat around, I waited, and we didn't have video games or anything else like that. I grew up in New York, and we had Subway tokens, and, you know, I told you a story. I got a Star Wars comic in 1977 because I love Star Wars, and then I started buying my own later on in 1983 with some birthday money. And back then, comics were 60 cents. They went to 75, then to $1. Subway tokens kind of were around the same price. And I was able to just walk a little bit longer, walk home or sneak or jump the turnstile. And the newsstands would take the tokens as currency. So I was able to buy comics then. Then there was the refunds for cans. So I used to collect all these cans in the neighborhood. And these families would bring over their empty soda bottles. Cans were better because you got more and less, and they would drink a lot more. And it was 5 cents each. So I would get like a dozen would be a comic book, or maybe even more. Or, you know, but I would get bags of them. And I'd be running, getting a shopping cart, take a shopping cart from the A&P in New York, and just load it up and bring it over to the store, and load it up, get all $4 and stuff like that, and run right to the comic shop. I wasn't saving my money back then because I was only 10 or 11, and I would go out there and just do it. And then I got a newspaper route, and I delivered comics on my newspaper route. I didn't deliver comics. I delivered the local newspaper in New York, the Newsday, to a local comic shop called Cosmic Comics. And Stan used to do signings there and everything else. It was great. And I used to deliver a newspaper there because back then there was a morning edition and an evening edition, so I had to do both. So by doing that, I used to get, collect and get tipped. And I'd say, give me tips. And I said, well, instead of giving me a tip, how about you give me that stuff? So they gave me store credit. And that's exactly the store where I bought my Silver Surfer 4. That's the store where I also eventually, I think they're still open, but they were still open when I moved away. I got all the Walking Dead, and I bought all those, and I sold those because I liked the book, but, I didn't like it that much that I considered it a key. But I sold them not for what they're going for now, but a good chunk of change, and that's how I was able to buy a lot of these other book comics and stuff like that. But I did buy most of my original keys at that store. I kind of had that local flavor. Now I have a local flavor here with about 3 or 4 stores in the area. So why I collect also, it's not just family and because I draw, it's because it brings me back to the time I can continue that tradition of going to the store, picking up a book, digging around, and finding something that you really want. So why I love comics? I love them. Thanks again. And the link to Reggie's contest is going to be below. Have a good day.